nervous. I'm just joking. It's obviously my pick. Because you're listening to Pick It and Flick It podcast. My name is
Halloween.
Fox. Oh.
I'm Natasha.
Hi.
This is the 4th episode
of
the Halloween Extravaganza, part 3.
Yeah, well, not part 3.
Edition
just
3.
The third
annual.
Yeah. We tried last year.
Luke
had to call us out on that, of course.
Yeah, that we didn't complete it. But
what a douche. Today, the long anticipated, for me at least.
Yeah, because we wanted to see it when it came out in theaters.
Yeah. Studio 666 featuring the Foo Fighters. Actually, not. Well, I guess it is featuring, but it was literally made by the Foo Fighters. So
I got another confession to
stop
make.
it. We had to hear that song in the movie to begin with. Oh God! I just want to start off by saying rest in peace to Taylor Hawkins, who died earlier this year.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Big bummer on that one. We had the opportunity to see them last summer.
Yeah, at Lollapalooza.
At Lollapalooza, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I think you enjoyed yourself there.
Oh, I had so much fun.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, when we were talking about the Foo Fighters, I'm like, I think I know Best of You. And you're like, you probably know this song and this song. And I'm like, no, I don't. And then when we saw them, I was like, okay, I definitely know
you knew, like,
Foo Fighters way more.
10 of their songs.
But they were a lot of fun to see.
Yeah.
And they put on a great show.
And you could tell that... they had a lot of fun making this movie.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on here.
Yes, there was.
There was a lot. To give the premise out, just to throw the whole shebang out. This is loosely based off of a real life event, if I'm recalling correctly. I read Dave Grohl's book last year. And he kind of talked about this, but he talked about how, like, and this is how the movie kind of starts its premise, that he got bored, like, recording in just the same old studio kind of atmosphere. So they started traveling around to different places to record their music. One being, I think a haunted house, which obviously this is based off of, but they recorded in, like, a hotel. They did like live show recordings and then mastered those out. They've done a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Really talented dudes.
Yeah.
Really, impressive. I don't know how much of, like, even in this story, I don't know how much of that is true. Where, like, Dave is the genius.
The whole
behind
story
it.
is true.
No, I'm saying
it's
like
an entire true story.
Yeah, I'm saying the music though. Where, like, Dave writes a lot of the stuff, and then he's
tells everyone
he's constructing how everyone else. I don't know how much input the other members of the band have in their song creation, but in this adaptation of a real life story, basically they are on their 10th album, which I think they are on, or they were on, while they kind of came up with this idea, and the record company was like, we need something now because we're losing our ass in money. And they're like, we don't want to record in a studio. So they send them to this house that's haunted.
Yeah, so the manager calls up the some real estate agent, and that real estate agent brings them to this, like, crazy, house that's...
Was she a real estate agent or, like, the manager? Like a...
Well, he was the manager.
Oh, he was the manager.
And Leslie Grossman was the...
She had to have been like a...
I was assuming she was a real estate agent.
But that's just involved with a record company?
Yeah. Or his friend. I mean, obviously, we know the twist at the end.
Yeah, right. Spoiler alert. There's a twist in a horror movie? What?
I know, you'd be surprised.
But yeah, so... Well, the opening scene is a surprise little star that we didn't expect to see in this movie.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, who is obviously known for her role in Scream, and then most recently in X, but she was also in The Fallout, which is an HBO movie. And
she's
been in a whole bunch of stuff. Like, she's just like the...
Yeah, she's like the horror queen right now. She was also in... Oh, The Babysitter.
It sounded like I said whore. She's not a whore. Horror queen.
I was trying to think of, like, who was a like horror queen in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't think there
maybe
was a
like
whole
Drew
lot.
Barrymore, but not really.
Well, she was in the original Scream, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was in E.T., but that's not really
Yeah, but
horror.
that's not horror. No. Regardless, it doesn't matter. She's been in Jenna Ortega, who I think we both like, and we know that Luke likes, is in this movie.
Yeah.
Just a little snippet, which was funny. But this movie is full. Like, it's for the music fans for sure.
Honestly, like the fact that you like Foo Fighters and that I'm, I like Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
So I do like the Foo Fighters. I'm not, crazy
you don't
about
listen
them
to
like
them on
you
your
are.
way to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But you like
I
their
think knowing them and liking them definitely helps throughout this movie.
Yes.
Because seeing Dave Grohl on like Hot Ones and like watching his interview, I could see his personality in his character.
Kind of pushed
too.
out.
Yeah.
The first note that I have, so that we don't get too caught up in the music stuff, because I'll talk for hours about that, is that there is like, with the Jenna Ortega scene, huge amounts of gore right away.
Oh, yeah.
And then the satanic imagery that was like flashing all over the screen with the pentagrams and the Baphomets and stuff. I was
of
like,
course you'd notice.
yeah, right. I was like, ooh, gore and satanic imagery. Satanic imagery right off the bat. Please, Daddy, give me more.
Ew. My first note is about Leslie Grossman and how she loves to be in like horror film and
See, I
TV
know her
shows.
from somewhere, but I can't figure out where I know her from, and it's not American Horror Story.
No?
No, because she was only in like the more recent series, right?
She was kind of in, like, she wasn't as main of a character.
Was she in Coven?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, guys,
I think she was the one
Coven
that
was
could,
the last one I watched.
I thought she's the one that could like taste her calories.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
she
know.
was the witch that could taste the calories that she was eating.
That's
and
weird.
like she would know how much. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to have that.
That's funny that's your first. That's your first note, though, because my second note is actually referring to the board meeting where they're talking about how they're going to get their next record going.
Mm-hmm.
And I just simply put, take a shot every time someone says fuck. You're drunk by 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of fucks in this.
There are. You should have counted. You should have had like a tally.
Oh, God. I couldn't. It was fuck every other word.
Yeah.
They were saying fuck so much that it was just it was kind of funny to me. But one thing on the actual serious note of the movie itself, the cinematography in this movie was really nice.
It's so crisp.
Yeah, I wrote in here, cinematography sharp. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
'Cause it was really, like, I don't know what kind of camera they were shooting with, but it was very, very intense.
It wasn't blurry. There wasn't a point where it was too dark.
No,
it looked
very,
great the whole movie.
Yeah, it was very, very
Yeah.
sharp. But one thing that I think the movie lacks, and or not lacks, but falls short on, and it comes up very abruptly as we get the story rolling, is that the acting they're not actors.
Yeah, I have my note in here is Dave Grohl equals terrible actor.
Yeah, he is not an actor.
So bad.
They're all bad.
Yeah, they are all bad, but I mean, Dave Grohl is just like more prominent than all of them, and he's just it's hysterical.
I think there's two. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's on purpose because isn't it like a horror comedy?
Yeah, it's like a
genre.
Yeah, so I always see the term black comedy referred to. Like earlier this year, we did the review for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that is labeled as a black comedy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know where that how it's defined as a black comedy, but this, if I was going to say, is like a horror comedy kind of thing. I think that would kind of fall in the same realm. I don't know
maybe
how that...
black comedy is like dark comedy.
Yeah, because it is. I mean, it's pretty dark. You have people talk. There's like satanic rituals in the movie. There's like these, kind of seance stuff that happens. So I would agree that it is a dark premise. But you know what? There's a lot of things, and I don't want to jump too far into the rest of the movie. But there's a lot of inspiration from old classic horror movies. Like there's some huge Evil Dead references in here, which
with the book.
With the Necronomicon. So that's really it's dark. When you're talking, anytime there's a premise that's based around satanic or any kind of blood ritual or blood rites and stuff like that, it's crossing a line for a lot of people. what's another one that has? Oh well, even the Conjuring series. That was a dark premise to go with because you're talking about possession.
Yeah, but it
same with
wasn't like comedy.
No, but it wasn't comedy. I'm saying like the themes in it is this dark. Same with The Exorcist, obviously, or even. Oh God, there's one other one that I was just thinking of, but it escapes me. But regardless, I think that it was well intended to have a spooky kind of thing, but the ham, like punching you in the mouth acting is is rough. I think there's only two. This is what I was going to say earlier before I rudely cut you off. There's only two people in this movie that I think were actually decent, and that's of course Taylor Hawkins and Pat.
Oh yeah,
because
but his scream,
he's so funny. But I think it was good, and I don't think it was like I think it was very in character for him. So, what did you think about the gore?
I thought it was good.
There is a lot of gore.
Yeah, I have the kills in this movie are
brutal.
Like every single kill was different, and it was different than I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's one of my notes is like these kills are off the chain.
Yeah,
like it was literally something. And, I think that's the Dave Grohl mind, right? Is because he was thinking about all of these ways that, like, the instruments he would use to kill people,
Well, and nothing was too, like, CGI.
None of it was CGI.
They used a lot of,
None of it was CGI.
So practical effects then.
Well, I guess maybe it was practical, but maybe the eyeball was CGI.
Yeah.
And I'm talking just the kills, because there's a lot of CGI going on with, like, the spiritual stuff.
Right. But usually in horror, like a lot of horror movies we've been seeing lately, there's a lot of fake blood, a lot of bad fire.
I mean, we talked about that earlier in the
Purge.
A couple days ago in The Purge. Yeah.
Bad fire, bad CGI. Like the kills just look ridiculous. But this one, they did a great job.
Yes.
And every single kill was probably not one that I've seen happen before.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
We can name a few, and then I want to ask what your favorite one is, because I think I have my favorite one.
Okay.
So the first one is kind of simple, I guess. And I'm talking about the bandmates.
Okay.
Where I think his name's Chris. Oh yeah, Chris, the guitar player. When he's grilling.
Oh yeah, and then
his face gets slammed into the grill a few times. So you see like the grill marks, and then you can see the skin being pulled away, like you're pulling a hot piece of meat off of the grill.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And it was just a basic kill. It was kind of like a warm up to what was to come, because he gets stabbed in the back after that. And then the one following that
is when Rami is.
Was it Rami, or was it Taylor after that one?
No, it was Rami.
Oh, it was Rami.
Because Rami's having sex with the neighbor.
Oh, yeah, the crazy neighbor.
And then Dave comes through, possessed Dave comes, he's under the bed with a chainsaw, and he saws through both of them and saws them both in half.
I would say, well, it goes through the chick's face.
Yeah.
And then it goes into Rami's head and past it, and then he saws them all in half all the way down.
Yeah.
And then it shows kind of like Rami's face, which was minorly CGI'd, but it was tasteful.
Yeah, it wasn't
when his
over
body
the top.
like splits in half, and then it goes to the above shot where them on the bed, and you can see both bodies that were clearly fucking, like split in half. And then Taylor's death, because Taylor is the drummer, or was the drummer, big rip, and they do their drum track, and then Dave takes a cymbal and whips it like a frisbee and cuts his, like, right at the mouth, cuts his head right off.
In half.
Oh, I guess technically the first kill then would be the delivery guy.
Yeah, but he's not part of the band.
Yeah, you're right. But he still had an interesting kill, because there's like this haunting spirit that kind of was around in the beginning that Dave started seeing before he became possessed.
Are you sure it wasn't Dave, though? Because we didn't see his face.
Yeah, but they kind of alluded to it being the guy from the beginning of the movie, who we see again at the end of the movie, and he was kind of like acting like he was, trimming the bushes or the hedges or whatever, and it was Dave when he killed the delivery guy, right? Yeah, you're right about that. As I'm talking, I'm picking up what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Dave that killed the delivery guy.
Yeah, I thought so. Because then when they showed the next kill that he showed was when he was killing Chris and he had the hat on.
Yes. But when they kill the delivery guy, he takes the loppers that we had seen from the beginning and he cuts the guy's head off. And it goes like, he shoots straight in the air. Like,
yeah, his head, like
a pimple pop.
Just goes right up. Yeah.
And then the last kill. Oh, well, who was he feeding through? That was Chris, who he was feeding through the wood chipper, right?
It might have been Taylor, too, but...
Oh, yeah. I think he was just getting rid of the body, so it was probably Taylor. But, yeah, he was throwing someone's hand into the wood chipper. And where did they get a wood chipper from?
Oh, I don't know.
It was just, there.
Maybe they just had it in the garage or something.
And then that was a funny scene for me because he's like, oh, whatever. And he's, nibbling on his finger and then throws it into the wood chipper and it sprays blood everywhere. And then the last two... Oh, poor Pat.
Yeah, he got ran over. Well, they were trying to hotwire the car because
Yes.
evil Dave had taken the keys to the van.
Yes.
And then, I don't know the other guy's name.
Nate. Sorry,
Nate.
I had a mouthful.
Nate is driving and Pat's hotwiring it. And then he gets scared because the lady that plays, I don't know, Leslie Grossman. I don't know her name.
Leslie Grossman is Barb.
Barb comes running towards them. They're like, oh, shit. And then he runs Pat over.
Yeah, and Pat's head explodes.
Yeah, which was cool,
good.
too.
I
And
like that
then
one.
he runs over, and then he also runs over Barb.
Yeah, he hits Barb. And then Barb comes back and stabs him through the bottom of the face.
Yeah.
And that the knife comes through his forehead and starts spewing blood everywhere. That one wasn't as good in my opinion.
No,
but
but I mean, out of all of them, that being the worst
right.
is probably not too bad.
There's a lot to unpack in the middle of all these kills because they don't all happen consecutively. But I wanted to ask what your favorite kill was because I know mine. I thought the second I saw it, I was like, "This is great."
My favorite was probably the chainsaw one.
Mine too.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The Taylor Hawkins one comes in a close second because I just thought it looked cool. And then when his body fell and his face was still up there.
Still on there. Yeah. It reminded me of Ghost Ship.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
Because we did a Ghost Ship review for the Halloween Extravaganza 1, so I always have to shout out when we do those, so you can go back and listen. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of Ghost Ship when the wire goes through his face.
Yeah.
But this one is he's indented into a wall. So that's a close second for you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not my close second. I really like Chris's kill with the grill.
Yeah.
Because when he pulls his face up, first of all, I'm a griller, so I think that's kind of interesting. And I've definitely had that moment of damn, if my hand slips or something like that, and because I always put tinfoil vegetables and stuff on there, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, you think about.
But yeah, so when he pulls him back up and his skin is being pulled off of his face, it's a really cool effect. I really like that a lot. The in-betweens, though, is basically this story's messy.
Yeah.
This story is really hard to follow. I get it.
I mean, I don't think so. Not as a horror fan. They go to this house.
Yeah.
And then Dave can't sleep. And then he hears noises. He thought he heard the water running, so he goes in the basement. Or he checks the faucet. It's not running. He still hears it. He goes in the basement. And he finds that there's a dead raccoon that's dripping blood.
Yeah.
And then that's when he starts looking around and he sees an old, I don't know what it would be called for music.
It was a 2-track recorder.
Okay. He finds that. And then he listens to it. And then that's when he gets kind of possessed.
Yeah.
And then he starts acting crazy and rude. And,
yeah, because the whole thing is they have to finish the song.
Right. And he comes out with a new chord, the L chord.
L sharp or whatever.
Yeah. And so then, I mean, the kills start to happen from there, pretty much.
The cohesiveness of it is fine. This whole story for me,
once they
just
explain
messy.
exactly who it is, they're like, oh, this band was supposed to be the new Jane's Addiction. And then they're talking about how that band was there before. Sorry,
I keep talking over you. I'm trying to get better at that. The whole thing that I think is the big drive for this is there's a lot of music history. They talk about 2112, which is a Rush album that's super crazy. They have I think it's XXYZ or something. I can't even remember. I'm not a huge Rush fan, but it's a really long song, and he just wants to make this long song. So there's a lot of like music thing. I mean, like fucking Kerry King is in this. You know, the guitar player from Slayer is just like, I am a character. Oh, and he gets killed. He's actually like the first kill, right?
Oh, he is. Yeah, he gets electrocuted.
Yeah, and that's a really cool effect. Oh, fuck. I totally forgot about this. I'm doing Kerry King dirty right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kerry. You're never going to listen to this.
I put in here
sorry.
when he's haunting Dave in his dreams or whatever, he looks like a White Walker.
Yeah, a little bit, because he's got the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Jinx. The other effect that I liked after his death is that his head shows up in the grill when he's barbecuing.
Yeah.
And his head's just like, Dave, you know, like in the grill, and it's all burnt, and he's got like, charred skin and stuff. That was a really cool, like.
Yeah. I
think that Kerry King, he was always, for me, when I was growing up and when I started listening to Slayer, I like to watch, and again, I don't want to get into all of the music stuff, but I will. I watched a lot of interviews with him, and he always has these really big, dark sunglasses on, covering half of his face. He doesn't talk a whole lot. He was just always the guy in the background, like shaking his head or being like, yeah, you know. And Tom Araya, the lead singer and the bass player for Slayer, was always just the front man. He was the one talking. He was the one doing the interviews. So it's really funny for me to see Kerry King in this, and he's talking, and he's like rolling his eyes, and he's like, oh, all right, whatever, you know, when they're doing the sound check of the snare, and, you know, Dave's like, okay, an inch to the left.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit more. Oh, no, it's too far. Go break. He's like, whatever, man. You know, it was really funny for me to see him because that's so very out of character for what I know Kerry King as. And I get it. This is a movie. He wasn't playing Kerry King. He was playing a character named Krug. But it was very funny. And it was a nod that I was like, this is fucking great, you know? And I think that's why I was like digging the movie. I was digging the movie at first.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you start. I don't know if it's just because you're tired and because it's nice out and the sun's beating down on you, but you're falling asleep.
I was hoping you wouldn't call me out on that, but here's the thing.
Well, you know, here at Pick It and Flick It, we're honest.
Yeah, we are honest. Fucking Luke last episode was like, it's fucking April.
Well,
fuck
now
you.
Now they know it's still
like,
April.
Yeah, fuck you. Here's the real thing on this. The first half of this movie is actually really good. The kills start happening. The gore starts happening. It's really good. But then there's a huge lull.
I definitely think that it could have been like...
way shorter.
Yeah, it was too long.
Way shorter. The big problem is there's a long time in between when some of the kills happen, like Kerry King's death, and then there's nothing. And yeah, we see a little bit of possession. Yeah, we see a little bit of spooky spooks with the dream sequences and stuff. But there's nothing going on until the kill of the delivery man. And you know what? It's 40 minutes without a kill.
Wow. Did you time it?
Pretty damn close. There's a lot of, again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, there's a lot of stuff for the music fans in here. This is a Foo Fighters movie. It's not a horror film. It's a Foo Fighters movie.
Yeah.
You know? And so when they're recording the music and Dave's going crazy, you know, telling people, oh, you got to do this, that, and the other thing, and he's like headbanging in the yard, and, you know, there's a lot of discussion. And it was supposed to be like a story build, and it was supposed to be like an add-up. But I just wish they would have stayed with the slapsticky, hamming it up acting and continued to do what we saw with Evil Dead.
Yeah, instead of trying to like bring it all together at the end and make it serious.
Real serious.
And then that whole scene, are we going to the end?
Yeah, we can just go.
The whole scene where that guy that had killed himself came back. And
I can't even remember his name.
He came out of he was created out of Dave's puke after Dave was cured.
Oh my God. Can we talk about the puke real quick?
Yeah.
What a nod to... Not only do we get a nod
Exorcist.
not only do we get a nod with the book, the Necromonicon, to the Evil Dead series, he pukes for like 30 fucking seconds long.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I thought that was a cool effect.
Yeah, but so he comes out of that, and then his band shows up, which I don't know. And then that scene lasted way too long.
Yeah.
It was just.
But what did you say?
There, what?
What'd you say? That scene was put in because... You don't remember?
Oh, to give Jenny Ortega more screen time.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly...
Jenna, not Jenny, sorry.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega. That's exactly what it was. because she was only in the first minute and a half of the movie.
Right, and then
And she was an opening credit. Like, she was slapped right on the opening credits of the movie. Like, General Ortega. It's like, okay. And then she wasn't in anything else.
Yeah.
So they had to do something, which is fine.
But then even then, it still wasn't over.
It was,
because then the manager ends up actually being a bad guy, and he said that rock and roll has been dead for 20 years.
And that Satan will cure it.
Yeah. And
Satan.
Of course, the real estate agent was in on it with the manager, so she sold them the house knowing that it was her. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Jeff Garland, by the way, who's obviously known for his only good role ever as the giant carrot in the wrestling pit with Eddie Murphy in, drumroll please, Daddy Daycare.
But she's in on it, and she's the one that sold them that haunted house.
Yeah.
And at the end, Dave Grohl is the only one alive, and the manager. And a year later, Dave Grohl is
still possessed by the devil.
Yeah, and he's performing by himself.
There's, I guess we could just, kind of keep talking forever on it, but I just, it just fell apart.
Yeah.
It got like, and I guess that's why, like, portion of the reason I was falling asleep, right? Because it was a little like, God damn, it's taking forever.
Yeah.
And I work today, and I'm sitting on the couch and with a blanket on me, and the sun's beating down. You're not wrong. Like, there's a lot of elements going on, but like, I feel like if
you're intrigued by a movie, you're not going to be falling asleep.
Yeah, keeping me together, it wouldn't be. Do you want? Oh, my computer froze a little. Do you want to explain how we rate things around here at Pick It and Flick It?
Yeah. So we rate things two ways. We rate them by if we would pick the movie and recommend it to our friends, or we've flicked the movie, so you don't have to. And that basically means don't watch it.
Yeah.
We don't recommend that you watch it. We're not going to recommend it to our friends and family and coworkers. And then we also, because we are anal, we rate it on a number scale of 1 to 10. 1 obviously being the worst. Or maybe sometimes we've given it like half a star, right? Oh, I guess that would be a 1.
That's a 1.
Yeah. And 10 being the highest.
Yes.
Which is very rare for us.
So, yeah, very rare. It is indeed. What was your number score for this?
Well, I wish I could say I would give it a 6.66 out of 10.
Oh.
But I was stuck between a 6 and a 7.
Really?
I went down to a 6.
Okay.
After you and I talked. Because I had it at a 7, and then you were like, it kind of hit a lull. And I'm like, you're right. And I was thinking about when I was kind of like, all right, this movie's kind of long. So I rated it a 6 out of 10. Okay.
I want to preface this with that I am a gigantic Foo Fighters fan. I've been a Foo Fighters fan for a very long time. I have listened to every single one of their albums. I own several of their albums. We've seen them. I kind of go out of my way to follow them. Here's the thing.
Oh, no.
I agree with you where you're kind of stuck between two numbers, right? I was debating a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
And I ended up going down to a 5.
Really?
Yeah, 5 out of 10 for me. This movie started very strong, very exciting, and just rolled right downhill.
Yeah.
It did not do.
I wasn't taking it too seriously. And
Neither was I.
That's why.
But
I was looking at it as a horror comedy.
Sure.
So.
I'm looking at this as a movie in general.
Yeah.
Not a horror movie, not a comedy movie. I'm just a movie. And it's not a good movie. That's to say the least.
Yeah.
Did you pick it or flick it?
I picked it. I think it's fun to watch. I think it was.
Yeah.
I was entertained.
Interesting. I flicked it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to a Foo Fighters fan?
Yeah. So that's the thing that I was gonna put. Like, I kind of put down in here. First of all, I put sorry, Dave.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend this to like Mike and Kyle.
So that's what the determination was for me.
If Wayne wanted to watch it or my dad wanted to watch it, I'd be like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that was the determining factor for me. So again, looking at this as a movie,
yeah,
not a Foo Fighters movie, not a music movie, just a movie, and it's not really that good. It's barely entertaining after the first hour, and aside from that, it's not worth a watch. You're not like gonna see anything in this movie that would evolutionize the way that storytelling is.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, with like the kills though. I think,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Great special effects, really cool stuff. However, it doesn't happen all at once. And it's not like a constant choo-choo train of awesome kills and murder. I would say that we've seen in the past couple of years better horror movies. Halloween Kills, mind you, had how many murders in the movie? And it was a constant, like, one thing after another.
Right.
There was never a single moment where we were like, okay, when's the next kill going to happen? It's like, oh, shit, here comes another kill. You know, it was kind of like this kind of chug. So I feel bad saying that as a Foo Fighters fan. However, I'm also a movie critic, and I call my Luke doesn't like the term critic, right? But I'm a critic. Everyone's a critic. So as a guy who has strong opinions and is relatively over opinionated, there it is.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening or watching or whatever. I guess you're not really watching anything. You're just listening.
Yeah.
If you liked what you hear, there's plenty more to come this month as we continue to chug through the Halloween Extravaganza number 3. This is the 4th movie. We're trying to release a review every single day in October. We have a huge list. Some fun stuff coming up, I think.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to keep going.
I mean, we've had some fun stuff so far, too.
You know, I personally haven't given the first, 3 movies, or now 4, very positive numbers, but
yeah, you're right.
I think that we're still having a fun time arguing about why we think one thing is better than the other, and going from there. Yesterday's episode was a little taste of that. Luke isn't with us every single movie here because he's a busy boy.
Yeah.
So if you're watching for Luke, sorry, but subscribe for us,
Yeah.
like for us, comment for us.
If you listen to us, you'll start to like us eventually.
I promise.
And then you won't need Luke, but
No, you'll need
Just kidding.
Luke, just not on this channel. He can go over to Confused Reviews.
you don't need him all the time.
Even though he
not
was
for
a
this
founding,
extravaganza.
yeah, he was a founding father of the Pick It and Flick It, and we're just throwing him out the window. So
I'm just joking. We love you, Luke.
Yeah.
I don't want.
You think he'll
him
listen
to
this
think
far
that
in?
we're-
I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe he
Or
will.
his followers will be like, "Well, you're shitting on our boy."
Yeah. You talking mad shit about Luke? We're unsubscribed. Don't do that. Don't unsubscribe.
No. Fox has another confession to make. Don't watch this movie.
I'm over your Foo
He's
Fighter
getting
references.
tired of Foo Fighter references.
I'm getting over your Foo Fighter references. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.